Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy here. I hope things are going to be coming in. It's having a little bit of issue with the Wi-Fi tonight. Not sure how I'm coming across. Everything sounded okay. I'm not. You're hearing me okay? You see me okay? It's not delayed or anything. Everything good? This evening, we're going to talk about adding a second AC, even if you have just 30 amp power on your coach. And there are ways of doing that. You actually have 3 different ways of doing it. Now, before I get started on that, let me just give a shout out to those that are in the house here. We got RV Dog. He was in here first. Then we have Mark Melanowski here. He's in the house. I appreciate you joining me here this evening. Appreciate those thumbs up early here. I know there's a couple other people there, and people are dropping off like flies. I'm not sure if things are working okay. Give me a thumbs up if it's coming across okay. Here we go. We got a few more people in the house here. We got Travels with Delaney. Appreciate you coming in. Is it working here? If things working, I see people are coming in. All right, so we're good. All right, so Travels with Delaney, Todd Stoddard in the house, Vincent Kennedy, welcome back, sir, and Brian Matthews up there in PA. So anyway, sitting here at Cape Cod, well, I appreciate that. I tell you what, I loved it up there in Cape Cod. Back when we used to go up there all the time in the 70s, you know, you had the nice warm summer days and the nights were cool. It was great. You know, they called it sweater weather in the evening. I'm not sure if you're having that up that way or not, but anyway, weekend RVing just showed up. So anyway, so this last week, heck, I'm losing track. Oh, let's see, Saturday. It's Tuesday now. I added a second AC to our 33-foot travel trailer. Now, why would somebody want to do that? And, you know, how can you make that happen if you have 30 amps? Because I have a 30 amp camper. So the reason why I did it was I wanted it colder in the bedroom. Now, I know people are out there saying, oh, well, you know, I have the same camper as you, and all I had to do is I just made this contraption, covered the vents out by the main area, and it threw plenty of cold air into the bedroom. The problem with that is if you close the bathroom doors and you totally shut off the bedroom from the rest of the camper, you have no air circulation. And what I mean by that is you're not going to have the warm air return. Yeah, you'll have cold air coming in, but to me, it wasn't enough. Neither was for my wife. So we wanted a second AC. Now, the second air conditioner we put in, it's not thermostatically controlled, so it's going to be controlled up in the roof, which isn't a big deal. But because I was switching and making that a Coleman Mach in the front, I went ahead and pulled off the Furrion in the back and put another Coleman Mach back there as well. And I'll talk about how that worked out and so forth. Now, what are the 3 different ways that you can make this happen? Number one, some of these coaches or some of these RV companies, what they're doing is they're putting what they call a soft start on the air conditioners. And what that does is instead of ramping up where when it comes on, that it's going to shoot up to maybe 20 amps. And then as it cools down, it's going to come back down to the 13 or whatever it is. Well, look at that. Appreciate that. You know, and I'm not on StreamYard here this evening, but I do appreciate that. Travels with Delaney, give me a $10 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Very much appreciated. So I see we have Dreaming Out Loud, RVing in the house, and Chuck Ash in the house as well. And then, of course, Ziggy from down there in North Carolina. Do appreciate that. So they're putting, I know with the momentum in Grand Designs, they're putting two 30 amp, well, I'm sorry, 2 ACs, 2 13.5s on the camper with 30 amp. And they're accomplishing that by using the soft starts. Now, the other thing you've got to do also, in some coaches, what they'll do is they'll put an EMS system in there managing the power So that way there, if you had two ACs on and then you pop something in the microwave, it's going to go ahead and shut off the AC to the second AC. But what you can do is you can manage your own power. So for instance, in my coach, if I wanted to go ahead and hook that up and do the two soft starts, it'd be pretty easy for me to manage the power because I have a 12-volt refrigerator, not the electric refrigerator. So what I would do is if I wanted to manage the power, I'd make sure that I was running my water heater on propane. Because by running two air conditioners, I'd be topping out at somewhere between 26 to 27 amps on a 30 amp system. Now, I chose to do it a little bit different, but I'll get into that in a minute. The other way you can do it if you have a 30 amp system too with that is you can go ahead and manage the power by doing it this way. Is for your microwave, you can put it on the microwave breaker. And of course, then you'd also want to make sure you're using propane on your water heater. And what you would do is you would put a switch in there, and you would either have to turn that switch to microwave or to to the second AC. That way there you're kind of managing your power for yourselves, so you're not going to be tripping a breaker. Now, the reason why you'd have to do that on this particular coach is because it didn't have a slot for another air conditioner or for another breaker. So you'd have to go ahead and split it through another breaker. And that's the way you would do it. I see we have the Granders, the Bamster, and Kent here from Ellicott City. Appreciate you joining us here. Now, what I chose to do was I chose to go ahead and instead of having to worry about throwing a breaker and this and that, I decided just to go ahead and just make a whole different 30 amp circuit. And so now what I have is down in the cabinet down below, and by the way, I'll be putting a video out on this, is I have another breaker, and then I have another 30 amp plug on the outside, and it's very simple. So now all you have to do is you pull into a campground, hopefully it has a 30 and a 50 amp break or spot. Just get the 30 to 50 amp adapter, boom, now you're ready to rock and roll. So that is the way I chose to do it. That way there I won't overpower the systems. Now, the third way you can make it happen is to go ahead and overhaul your whole system and make it a 50 amp. And it is possible. The problem with that is you're looking at probably about 25 hours of labor in order, plus your parts and so forth, to make that happen. Now, with mine, it was two people, took them 5 hours. So you're talking about 10-hour shop time and then the cost of the parts. So all you got to do is kind of figure out what the cost of your parts would be and so forth. And all we did for the air conditioner in the bedroom, the wire came down through a wall, went down underneath the shower that brought it into the underbelly, brought it back up in the kitchen area. That's where he was able to go ahead and make his breaker, ran it back down in the underbelly, ran it back to the back, came back up through the floor, which already had a hole there. And then he was able to put the cutout for the 30 amp connector on the backside right next to the other 30 amp. So total of 10 man hours shop time. So if I would have helped him, then I would have only paid for 5 hours. But I paid him for 10 hours of labor. And I'll tell you what, they did a great job. And just today, I mean, it was 91 degrees here, maybe 92, 66 degrees in my camper. That's running both air conditioners, but 66 there in the middle of the camper. I shut off my bedroom air conditioner back a couple hours ago and just left the rear air conditioner on and set it at 66. It's 68 degrees in the camper. I like it cold. Now, I know there's people out there that tell you can only get it to be 20 degrees cooler than outside. That's not necessarily true. What it is, it's 20 degrees cooler than the air temperature in the camper. So, you could set it now with the Furrion. I would set it at 60 and it would get down to like 62. But that was mainly up in the front, in the back area. Wouldn't necessarily get to that in the front. Hence the reason why I went ahead and went to the second AC. And again, I like the way it worked for me. Let's see. So we have a question here. We have a RV Dog asking, what is the cost for shop hour? That comes down to what you negotiate with the person doing it. I mean, obviously, I was able to pull some strings. I know in our area, the going rate is $130 some an hour. Now, if you get one of those mobile techs, they're going to probably charge you for showing up, and then of course they're going to be a little bit less per hour than you would be if you're going to go to a dealership. That's for sure. And then we have Wayne Kern in the house. Wayne, looking forward to getting your camper in. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks we're going to keep an eye out for that, and I will be in touch with you and let you know what's going on that. So, does anybody have any questions on air conditioners or anything RV related, for that matter? And Terry Matthews is in the house. Terry, you up and walking yet? Looking forward to seeing you guys. I know you guys said you're coming here one day. I forget what day it was, but I know you text me or something. But looking forward to you guys coming up, and we're hanging out. As you can see behind me, you see all this straw laid out here. I repositioned my canopy here, and actually there's a box back over somewhere over there. You can't see it behind the tree over there, but I'm actually putting up a 20 by 10, I don't know what the heck they call it, cargo tents or whatever, that's going to be over in this area. And I wanted to open up our camping area, and I wanted to put grass there. So that was I'm hoping everything's going to, I mean, it came in pretty good before, and I'm hoping it's going to come in. It's just the weather is looking a little bit tough. Now, did I ever use the dehumidifier in the RV? Yes. So he's asking about, so on the Furrion, you have a dehumidifier setting on it. And I did use that once to go ahead, because I had some moisture in the camper, because I like it cold and it was hot out. And so I had moisture in the window. So I just put the blinds up, turned the dehumidifier on, and within a couple of hours, that dehumidifier, it did do the job. Now, for those of you that don't have that on your air conditioner, because I don't have it on the Coleman Machs. By the way, so I have Coleman Mach air conditioners on here now. What I like about the Coleman Mach over the Furrion is it is much quieter. I mean, I sleep with earplugs in, but I could hear that compressor coming on and off when I was running it, and I was continuing to run the fan continuously at night. I do not hear that at all, and now I run the Coleman Mach up in the back. I run that in the auto mode because I got the air conditioner in the bedroom running constantly, and I cannot hear the rear air conditioner going on and off. Now, what I'm going to try something tonight is I'm going to go ahead and shut off the air conditioner in the bedroom, and I'm just going to run the air conditioner in the back just to kind of see what kind of noise level and how well it does keeping up. So anyway, let's see what we got here. We got a couple other questions here. Okay, dehumidifier is a must in an RV if you do not want mold. That's a fact there, folks. Do you plan to do the air conditioner maintenance yourself or hire a technician? Well, the air conditioning maintenance, the only maintenance I'm doing on the air conditioner is, the filters on the interior. If there's something else, I mean, the other stuff as far as cleaning the vents on the back and stuff like that, I'm going to wait and see, look into it, and then see how difficult it is and determine whether or not I'm going to have somebody come out and do it or whether I'm going to do it. The other thing, if you're towing your RV, you might want to consider doing once a year at least, is checking and making sure that it's secured down. You have the bolts on the inside, so you'd have to take off the shroud on the inside and make sure that those bolts stay tight. So that would be what you'd want to do there. Let's see. Wayne just got back today from PA Dutch in Mannheim. When we get the new camper, no doubt about that. Now, let's see. Travels with Delaney, they have a question here. He wants to know if a Class B with Mercedes chassis is worth the extra money over a Dodge. Well, people ask me, it's just like asking, is a diesel pusher better than a gas motorhome? I always tell people, listen, if the budget's not the issue, well, then obviously it's not an issue, right? But if you're looking at it from a Mercedes chassis versus a Dodge, you're looking at, depending on what one you're buying on the Dodge chassis is, you could be looking at spending $30,000 or more. So now the benefit with the Mercedes is you're going to get 18 plus miles a gallon. Some are saying they're getting 20, 21, 22 miles a gallon. Well, it depends on the size of your rig and so forth. Versus the Dodges, I say you're going to get 15 plus. Some people are getting 18. So not that big of a difference in fuel mileage. So what I tell people, it comes down to floor plan and budget. So if you're looking at the gas that on the Dodge chassis, well, heck, $30,000 can buy a whole heck of a lot of fuel. And the other thing is, too, is your maintenance costs are going to be considerably less as well. Something I hear people complaining about in the Mercedes chassis is that this diesel fuel plays havoc with some dang fuel filter that they got to change out on a regular basis. And that's costing them like $300-400 every time they need to do that. And that might be once a year, whereas you're not going to have that issue with a gas motorhome. So again, I guess it depends on what chassis. I mean, obviously, if you want the four-wheel drive, right, you've got a couple different options. You got the Revel. You've got the, that's less than 20 feet in length. That's four-wheel drive. Then, of course, you have the Winnebago Era, but of course, then that's 22 or 23 feet in length. So it comes down to what you're thinking and where what you want to spend. Hopefully that answered your question. I do appreciate the question. Let's take a look here and see next one here. New Horizons is in the house, and then they have a 303 RLS fifth wheel. Set up, that's a 50 amp, and it's doing quite well for them. And that's great. If you guys can go ahead and hang in there with that, that's great. The nice thing about with your camper is all the wiring and everything is there, so no need to run it. So that's a much less expensive add in the event that you decide to do it. And on top of that, that particular one, they're going to put a thermostat on the wall for you. So that makes it even a quieter unit for you. Let's see here. New Horizons. Okay, we have several. Okay, boom. Talking back and forth with RV Dog there. Colleen D is in the house. Appreciate you joining us here. By all means, please do remember to hit that thumbs up. I see we have 22 people in the house, owning 9 thumbs up. Well, of course, I can't see the thumbs down. Maybe I got the rest are in thumbs down. Maybe that's what it is. Hey, listen, either or, it doesn't matter to me. As long as you're clicking one of the thumbs, I'm good with that. And I do appreciate all the conversation going on in there. Does anybody else have any questions pertaining to air conditioners or anything else for that matter dealing with RVs? And by the way, for any of those of you all that are considering coming out to Gettysburg, please reach out to me so we can set something up. Love to have you out here, kind of hang out and shoot the breeze with you all. Do have a few people coming in over the next couple months and looking forward to seeing everybody. So let's see, there was something else I was going to go ahead and chime in. Oh, almost forgot. Down below, please do consider checking out Make-A-Wish and making a contribution if you can. That's something that's near and dear to my heart. I've already delivered this year 4 Make-A-Wish, and I've got 4 more going next month. And so we've got a lot going on with them. Their budgets are just out of sight, and of course their deficits are considerably low as well. So the more you can help out, the better for everybody. I do appreciate that. So no doubt about that. I would tell you, heck, we're living in ours on a regular basis. I'd say on a weekly basis, you probably want to go ahead and do that. The easiest way you could do it, you just shut the air conditioner off, take your vacuum. You can just vacuum the filter. That's probably the easiest way. Of course, the other way is you go ahead and pull it off, rinse them off, let it dry, put it back in. But I tell you what, if it's hot outside, that camper's going to get pretty hot pretty quick. So let's see here. Yes, all the wiring is there, but we are trying to stay away from the expense. Listen, that works. Whatever works for you, that's for sure. Let's see. So Kent Grander has a question. Off base from AC, but we just upgraded our truck and now have a Class 5 hitch. It's a Class 5. It's 2.5-inch receiver. Do you recommend any types? Well, so Kent, so all you have to do on that is, the benefit with that is you just have a higher tongue weight rating on the hitch itself. So meaning if you had typically something like that, you could have anywhere upwards of 1,500 to 2,000 pound tongue weight with weight distribution. That benefits you and a lot of people that have those vehicles that are towing toy haulers, because those toy haulers are 1,700 pounds in the tongue weight when they don't have anything in them. Now, obviously, once you put something in the back, that's going to lessen the tongue weight. But if you're towing a dead weight, that tongue weight's going to get pretty darn heavy. So hopefully that helps you. Yes, there is a link down below the video, and you'll see it says donate here. Click on that link. It'll take you right to it. Do appreciate everybody that has donated over the last several months. And I'm continuing to donate $50 a month for every camper I sell, and hoping that I'm going to be hitting $6,000 or more by the time that's all up, said and done. So do appreciate everybody that's doing that. If you're watching this on replay, please do comment down below. Ask a question if you want. Hit the thumbs up button and so forth. But I'll tell you what, it's a gorgeous night tonight. It's down mid-80s now. As you can see, got a nice sunset in the background here. Over here, I'm going to go ahead and tilt my screen here. As you can see, back over here, that's where I'm going to have my fire pit. I'm going to hopefully get some stone in from the campground. Went up there to ask them about it. They said, Mr. Chamberlain, we've already given you 2 loads of stone, and that's enough. I said, look, this site hasn't been used in years. I'm doing you a favor. Help me out here. So hopefully they're going to bring me 2 more buckets of stone, and I'm going to be able to fill that in. And hopefully this grass comes in really nice over the next few weeks. And we're gonna go ahead and spruce up this site a little bit. And we're gonna have a grand old time doing it. So anyway, listen, I appreciate everybody coming in here this evening. And for those of you watching on replay, let's see, anybody else? Don't forget to make a wish. Your Amazon Smiles. I appreciate that too. Yeah, so you can also, if you don't have the wherewithal to contribute, if you Make-A-Wish Mid-Atlantic, your Amazon Smile, every time you're buying something on Amazon, they will being paid by Amazon on your behalf, and they pay it quarterly, I believe. So do thank you, everybody out there that does that, and for your contributions, as well as coming in here and watching my live. So thanks again. We'll be coming back at you again next week. Listen, everybody have a wonderful 4th of July. And we'll be coming back at you again next week. So take care and have a great weekend. Safe travels out there, everyone.